People no longer invest in brain works. Any form of investment you would make, my dear, is the biggest you can do for yourself. Now is the right time to invest in them. Perfect that skill. Your 20s are basically that set of years where you do the work inside and you work towards it. Not just, living on vibes, catching cruise. No. Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amede Peculiar, and if this is the first time you're seeing me, you are highly welcome. On this channel, we talk about becoming that woman. Confidence, classy, discipline, intentional, and most of all, God-fearing. So we talk about leveling up in your 20s, building discipline in your 20s, you know, evolving in your 20s, becoming that woman, investing in yourself, your appearance, beauty, inside out. Just basically everything that surrounds being the best version of yourself, being the best version that God has called you to be as a lady, okay? We discuss everything on this channel. So if that's something you think you're interested in, I would really advise you stick around, subscribe down below, like, comment, join the family, okay? Let's get straight into today's video. In today's video, we are going to be discussing how to become that woman in your 20s, even if you don't feel like it, or how to, embody her character, how to gradually become that woman in your 20s, okay? Now, becoming that woman in your 20s takes intentionality. It takes intentional steps. It takes intentional habits. I believe we all have people, we look up to, people you want to be like, okay, people who you really aspire to. You have people in your lives or people on social media who they are that woman or they are that girl, like they are doing it for themselves, right? Yes, those people, they didn't just come to that phase within like a twinkle of an eye. My girl, they put in the work. Aside, the bougie outfits, aside the, good looks, aside the, good pictures, there is a whole lot of things that goes down. Okay, there's a whole lot of work that goes down into putting all those things together to be that person. I understand you have money, okay, but having money does not necessarily attribute you to be that kind of woman. Money isn't the only factor you should look out for, because I believe a lot of people will say, oh, if I have money and I have good phones, I could take good pictures and I could just elevate my life just like that. It doesn't just, that's not all that it is to becoming that woman. I've discussed who a high value woman is in my previous video. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to leave it up here. So please go and check it up and watch that video to understand who a high valued woman is. Okay. So there's a whole lot of work that goes into her. Her appearance is like the least of it all. For me, I basically see that appearance come in play when all the work inside has been put together. When you've put in all the works together, you've worked on your mindset, you've worked on your emotions, you've worked on your finances, you've worked on your confidence. That's basically who a high valued woman is. You've done the work inside before it starts showing out on your appearance, okay? The first tip I'm going to give to you in becoming a high valued woman is to, fix your identity and your mindset, okay? Decide who you want to be and who you are becoming, and also be very truthful to yourself at the stage where you are right now. Oh my God, this hits me so hard recently, and I'm like, my friend just told me, just be very honest with yourself. This is the position where you are right now, Peculiar. Okay, this is who you want to be. You have to be very true to yourself that this is where I am, this is my starting point, and this is where I want to head to. Your 20s are basically the decades where you decide who you want to become. Your 20s are basically that set of, age, that set of years where you do the work inside, you ask yourself and you work towards it. Not just, living on vibes, catching cruise. No. Like I said earlier, becoming that woman is not about expensive bags. It's not about the expensive shoe. It's not about the luxury, okay? All these things, like I said earlier, are outcomes of who this woman has become. They are outcome of what this woman has put into herself, and it's showing off. Decide what kind of woman you want to be. What are the qualities this woman possesses? And start implementing those in your life. Those qualities, yes, start implementing them in your life. Let anybody call you fake life gang. I don't care. Yes, fake it until you make it. I'm not saying go and be living like a very false life, but with the most you have, you make do with it. That's what I'm basically trying to say. Be that woman intentionally. Is she a confident woman? Start instilling confidence into your mindset. Is she a very composed woman? Start instilling composure to your life. Start the investment in yourself now. The greatest investment you can ever make in this life is investment in yourself. I believe you've heard that in 1,001 times. But you see that woman, she has her finances in check. Now, if you want to have your finances in check, if you see a course that you know will be relevant to you, my sister, buy that course. Okay? If you see a seminar that you know this will be helpful to you, my dear, go there. If you see a skill, if it's to improve on your skill, improve on it. Buy those books, listen to resourceful people, okay? That is how you start building your mindset. That is how you start, understanding who you want to be. By the time you invest in your mind by reading books, people no longer even do the underground works anymore. They just see, oh, nice aesthetics, this thing is cute, I love this luxury and I want it, and they basically try. People no longer invest in brain works. People don't have mentors. I don't know if people still do that, but for the most I have been seeing, I'm like, do people still, have people they look up to? Yeah, do people still, earnestly want to be like this person, or you see this person and you really just admire the kind of qualities she embody as a woman. I don't know if people still do those things like lately now, but it's not just all about, the luxury things. I know you want to, fake it until you make it, but also do the work inside. Invest in your mind, invest in your body, do any form of investment you would make, my dear. It's the biggest you can do for yourself. Now is the right time to invest in them, not when you're married in 30 and then you have 2 kids, you have 3 kids, and they're crying. This one is shouting mommy here, that one is shouting daddy here. People still make it work, but my dear, now that you're 20, this is your perfect and the most sweet moment for you to, spend on yourself. Invest knowledge wise in yourself. Okay, investing in your mindset starts with serious intentionality. Now let's take a simple example. The woman you want to become, will she first of all, spend money on frivolities, squander money here and there, go to nice restaurant? I'm not saying that that's bad. No, it's not bad. Okay, ask yourself, will she rather do those things first, or she would rather invest in herself first? For me, I honestly think she would invest first in her mindset before investing in her reality, to get that skill, perfect that skill. Okay, in becoming that woman in your 20s, the second thing you have to do is to learn how to build unshakable confidence and improve on your self-worth. That woman knows her values and she does not beg to be chosen. Oh, she will not stay in an abusive relationship where she will be beaten and battered. So you cannot be in an abusive relationship and tell me you know your worth. You don't stay in a place where you beg or you struggle for acceptance. Sometimes people take confidence for, arrogance, but confidence is a whole lot of things, and sometimes people mistake it for arrogance. For me, it is understanding in scenarios, in cases that, it will just click on your head that, baby, I deserve better. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be acknowledged. You deserve to be cherished. You deserve to be seen. Now, this leads me to my next step, which is set boundaries and stop over explaining yourself. Your 20s, if you're just, coming out of the 16th phase, 17, 18, 19 phase, your 20s is basically that time where you get to, say yes to everybody. Most times, if you're in your early 20s, is that time when you get to say yes to everybody. You explain why this is not working in your life. You explain why you decide to, do what you did. You explain why you just basically start explaining everything. My dear, it is high time you stop that. I know a lot of us struggle with this, but sometimes we just give people too much access into our life. And once you've given them this access into your life, you have no choice than to be over explaining. Or when this goes wrongs, you have to tell them. Like, they already know what is happening in your relationship. So when you break up, you have to tell them why you broke up. So stop it. Stop it. You don't have to say yes to everybody. Sometimes saying no to things you genuinely don't like is not a crime. It is not wickedness. The receiver will basically say, oh, you have to go out of your way for me. I understand the aspect of going out of your way, but not for everybody. That's why, again, I said you don't give everybody access into your life. XYZ don't need to know what is happening in your relationship. ABC don't need to know what is happening in your family, okay? Say no to the things you know that they will drain you. If you think this person is not worth it, say no. And the next tip I would love to highlight in this aspect of stop over explaining yourself is, confronting people. You see, when people hurt you, you should confront them. That is a high valued standard that so many persons don't have. They just tend to swallow it up, and then you harbor pain in your heart. You harbor this in your heart. You harbor hatred in your heart. When people offend you, when people, disrespect you, when people talk down on you, that habit alone builds your confidence. Next time, they won't disrespect you. So confront people, okay? It is very impossible for me to talk about being a high valued woman and not talk about this particular step. You see, discipline, you have to discipline your life. Yes. I'm not saying yourself anymore, I'm saying your life. Get up and do what you have to do. Most times you might not have that energy to move like on a go like this, and that is fine. But that is why you need to take intentional small steps, small habits, things that will get you to your goal. If it's on your finances, if you need to go to your shop daily, if you need to sell something, if you need to make a post, do it and do it fine. If it includes waking up with intention, planning your day, do it. You see that life that you want, it will require a level of discipline of yourself. It is only that level of discipline that can get you there. The fifth tip I wrote down here is working hard. It is very impossible for you to aspire to become that woman without, putting in the work. It could be work on your mindset. It could be the discipline we are talking about. It could be, your hustle. Work on any work. Like you need to actually put in the work. I heard somebody say, work like nobody's coming to save you. You cannot become that woman through laziness. Build a skill, start a business, improve on your skill, improve on yourself. Do things, read books. Your 20s are not just for vibes, catching cruise here and there. And there's something about working hard. It just basically improves your standards. It just gives you an edge over, people who sit down and do nothing. So do something for yourself. People basically value you more when you have something to offer. They value you more when they basically see that you have something going on for yourself. And working really hard, exposes you to those, kind of like-minded people who, can pull you up again. It exposes you to experience, and with experience, you know how to handle situations, you know how to, talk to people, you know how to interact, you know how to basically carry yourself. Okay, so that is all of the tips I have for you guys on this video. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to end it here. But if you have something that you wish we talk about, oh, I didn't fix my lashes. But if you have something that you want us to, touch on, please leave a comment for me down in the comment section. Comment other tips that they are, values and attributes of a high value woman. And like, share, subscribe. If you've watched me till this point and you haven't liked this video, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Until then, do not forget to stay blessed and stay fabulous. Bye.